In today's video, I am going to be breaking down Brandon Ingram and how he shoots the basketball. He is a very good three-point shooter, and there's a lot of things that he does that we can do as well to improve our shooting form. So let's get down and let's check him out. But really quickly, if you want to be able to shoot the ball from further away, make sure to go check out my shooting workout that is down in the description below. And if you want me to break down your shooting form itself so that you can improve, make sure to go check out that link in the description below as well. Okay, so let's really take a look at his shooting form, especially from behind, because in my opinion, this is one of the better ways to be able to gauge a shooting form. The first thing that I notice is that his knees come together. Now, this could be just because he's done this his whole entire career, ever since he was a kid. Muscle memory is kind of a very interesting thing, but at the same time, generally speaking, when you jump on 2 feet and your knees come together, in some cases, that could mean that you have weak hamstrings. So he may have weak hamstrings. If he was to improve that, those knees may not come together as much, or this could be just a muscle memory thing from when he was a kid and he had maybe weak hamstrings back then. However, generally speaking, shoulders, hips, knees in most cases, and feet in most cases are in all the same direction, except for his right knee and right foot that are slightly tilted more inwards and away from the basket. Now, this does sometimes help players get their right side of the body in line a little bit more because you want to get your shoulder, elbow, and ball all in line with the rim. I personally call this the shooting triangle. If it's all in line, it's going to be a straight shot. However, he has a very high set point, which is handy when you've got a tall guy trying to block your shot, or at least at the very least contest it. Now, something coming off of this curl right here is watch his feet. When he receives this ball, right, left, right. That's fine. 2 steps is allowed in the NBA. He dips down, he goes for his shot, high release again, but watch his feet sway out and his shoulders slightly sway back. I'll let you watch this again so that you can see that sway that we see right there. That slight sway back and forward with the feet, that is actually giving him more power to the rim. And if you can do this perfectly, it will actually improve your distance as well. However, you have to keep in mind that if you're swaying your feet forward, that doesn't mean your shoulders also go forward. This doesn't mean your whole body goes forward. Your body has to be in line, and if your upper body goes back, your forward or your feet or your bottom have to go forward. On his release too, his elbow is above the forehead, which is fantastic. It's going to be roughly around 45 degrees, and we can actually measure this as well. So if that is the line of his body, then what we can say is that his release is around 30-ish degrees, and you generally want to be in that range. Some players might want to be around 40-ish, maybe 38, in that range, but that's not bad. Now, something I really like with his shooting form too is right here. The ball, I know we are looking at his back, but the ball is roughly around there. It travels up the middle of his body. Now, I know there's a lot of coaches that'll say, okay, you need to bring this ball up the right side and not the middle of your body. However, I'm going to tell you right now, it is way more comfortable bringing that ball up the middle of your body, and sometimes you just want to have or need to have a more comfortable shot. However, at the same time, if you've got a longer wingspan than your height, for example, if you're 6'1" and you have a 6'5" wingspan, then bringing the ball up the middle of the body is almost a guaranteed thing that you need to do. Now, as you can see, his palm is actually on this side of the ball, and I'm going to be really explaining this soon as well. His offhand is perfectly right on that side of that ball. Now, he's got a really high release point, so you're going to notice that this, or not release, but set point, you're going to notice that his offhand is, if we were to say that this ball, this would be the top and this would be the bottom, his hand is actually technically on the top of the ball. And why I'm calling that the top is because, generally speaking, you want your hand, your palm, your shooting hand at the bottom. So if we were to call this the bottom and this being the top, his offhand, his guide hand is actually on top of the ball. And that is a very awkward situation for a lot of players. This usually means that a player will have a massive thumb flick. Well, if we actually watch his shot, we can see that he has no thumb flick. He's actually able to get his hand under the ball because, generally speaking, have your hand on the side of the ball on the way up is, again, more comfortable. And sometimes you just need a more comfortable shot. and no thumb flick. We can see that, yes, it is releasing forward. It doesn't have some weird tilt to his arm or some weird outwards tilt to his arm. His forearm is straight up, elbow as well as shoulder in line with the rim. This is exactly the type of shot that you want to see. And if you want a consistent shot, this is what this part of the shot will look like. He has a nice soft release, which is something that we need to look at because a soft release will generally get you more arc. However, a harder release where the wrist is the only thing that bends, the rest of the hand is basically straight, that is going to add more extra rotation to the ball. And you have to really try to get the best of both worlds. So this isn't all that bad. This is kind of a soft release. He's got good wrist flick. I like this shot a lot. And if we actually watch the rotations of the shot, if we can actually slow this down, let's say we watch this line right there. And he's going through the air, and this is going to be about one full rotation there, about 2 rotations there, about 3 rotations there, about maybe 3.5. This is actually something that is extremely important because if we watch a lot of shots, you want that backspin on that ball because you want it, if it hits the rim, you want it to be able to slow down so it kind of bounces around and eventually goes in. However, if there's no backspin, it's going to usually hit that rim really hard and bounce off. So if you find that you've got no backspin and you get a lot of bricks, that could potentially be why. If we watch the actual downwards trajectory of this shot, it's actually not bad. So when we're looking at it right here, we're looking at a fairly high entry point. Now, I would rather have something that is too high than something that is going to be too low. And this is not exactly the greatest of angles to be able to see this shot because it was coming from the 45 and not from the side of the net. So there's going to be some differences when it comes to the actual percentage. I actually wouldn't be surprised if this was closer to maybe 50 or maybe 48 degrees instead of the 60. But basically why I'm calculating this and talking about this is you want that ball to drop between somewhere in the range of 40 to about 44 degrees. So what that means is that ball needs to drop somewhere in the range of here. However, this potentially could be the actual number. It could be easily within this range because, again, this is a behind the basket view and the shot was coming from the wing or the 45 instead of coming from the corner. So this could actually be around that 42 degrees. It's just a very hard angle to be able to calculate, and there wasn't any angles that were good from what I could find online. However, I wanted to still calculate that because I wanted to be able to have you understand that you need that 40 to 45-ish degree drop on the ball no matter where you're shooting from for it to be a perfect swish, but also for it to hit the basket a lot lighter. What I mean is if it's coming in too narrow, the rim looks too small. But if it's coming in with too much arc, it's going to hit that rim and it's going to have a higher probability of bouncing out, mainly because of gravity. Gravity does weird things, so that's just why. But anyways, I hope that this video has helped you. Make sure to go check out my shooting workout that is down in the description below. And if you want me to break down your shooting form, you can check out the link that is down below as well. I'll see you guys again in my next video. I hope that this video has helped you become a better shooter in the game. And if it has, hit that like button and subscribe.